welcome to the Section 325 podcast.
The second half.
Here we
Playoff
are.
edition.
Playoff edition. Playoffs?
Playoffs?
You talk about playoffs? Because I'm not in the playoffs.
No, I'm not. No.
But man,
But-
what some good games, some games that we didn't expect.
Blowout games that I didn't expect? Yeah. Like the Bucks beating the Eagles.
We'll have
I did not see that coming.
Nobody did. They scored 9
No.
points on the Carolina 2-win Panthers.
And the tush push got
Denied.
stopped.
I mean, it was a
got
bit of a
denied.
face mask. Let's
Yeah,
not
that's
lie.
true. That's true. There was a face mask that wasn't called. That should have been. But again, those Eagles, they just tanked at the end of the year. I feel like. Do you think their coach is going to be back?
I would hope so.
I would hope so. I mean,
You fire a guy that started 10-1. Obviously, I think they know the reasons that they went 6 out of 7 losses down the stretch.
And the fact that they were in the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah.
I just don't like to talk about them. Oh, well, what's going to do? You fire the coach. I mean,
here's another thing. They still have a young quarterback, right? So when you get a young quarterback that comes in and plays well, really well, dominates, making all these big plays, well, yeah, you got away with it, but now there's film and an off season. And now you go back and you look at all this film and you're like, okay, this is where he struggles. This is where we can attack him. So there's just more film on the Eagles. Now they got to change some things up. And I don't think their coaching staff was prepared for that. But the answer is definitely not bringing in another coaching staff.
No way.
No way. I'm still waiting to hear if McCarthy's going to get fired.
And I would be shocked about that too, because again, sure, they've won like 10, 12
They are the winningest
year.
franchise the last 3 years, and they've won 12 games each year. 36 wins.
I mean, it's not. I just think it's just a franchise fault that they just choked in the playoffs. It's not the head coach's fault.
Well, it's so much pressure now, right?
They're just cursed.
It's so much pressure.
Yeah.
You're not just making the playoffs. Hey, we're this exciting team. You've been this team that's won more games than anybody the last 3 years, and you haven't been in so long.
No. Yeah.
And now the Lions have won a playoff game, and they can't.
At home, and they're hosting again at home. That's exciting. Yeah. But yeah, the Dallas Cowboys, I saw, and I think I shared it with you. The Packers have won more games in AT&T Stadium than the Cowboys have in the playoffs in their own stadium.
So we got to hear from you, Cowboy fans, because I can't imagine what that feels like. I know when the Seahawks had their winning seasons, we went to back-to-back Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And then back it up to when we had Holmgren in the 2005 season. That was our best season to that point ever in franchise. We went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So what is happening that the Cowboys are winning, having 12 wins a season? 12 wins is not easy in this league.
I know. And it goes back to my question I asked you a couple of weeks ago, where would you rather have like this good 10-year stretch of like winning seasons or not win the playoffs, or have that one good season and win the Super Bowl?
One good season. What I mean, I had a B&I class yesterday, and there's one guy who's a Cowboy fan, and he wore his Cowboy shirt when the Cowboys beat the Seahawks.
Oh, okay.
And so I said, I'm wearing my Seahawk sweatshirt. And I said, here's the thing. I had to wear this today because Curtis, both our teams are going to be in Mexico watching the Super Bowl. There's no difference. They got one more game than we did, and they won their division, had 12 wins.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I would rather know my team sucks, and we got, like last year, the Seahawks squeaked into the playoffs. I knew we weren't beating the 49ers. Even Pete Carroll knew. The most energized, positive guy.
We went out there and tried.
No, before he goes, yeah, it's really great that we're in here. Really great, but unfortunately, we have to play the 49ers. Unfortunately. I mean, you said this. I mean, I've never seen Carroll. Like, he knew they were going to lose.
Yeah.
And they haven't been able to compete in the NFC West. That's why Carroll's out, I believe. I believe that you got to compete in your own division, number one.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think that I could get rid of McCarthy. I always think about this. Do you remember? You probably don't remember, but the Sonics, Seattle SuperSonics. I'm going into basketball, so it's a different league. But they had George Karl as their coach, and George Karl would get them into the playoffs every single year, and they'd get knocked out.
Yeah.
They get rid of George Karl because he couldn't win in the playoffs. And then guess what? The Sonics never made the playoffs again. And then
Well,
they weren't even a
exactly.
franchise.
Is the next coach, whoever that might be, I don't know if it would be hired within the coaching staff. Dan Quinn would be, I guess, would be one, but the next coach isn't just going to solve everything that first year. You're going to be almost at square one all over again. It's
No,
kind of like the thing with Denver too. Like, you know, getting a new quarterback or getting a new coach is not just going to solve its problem right away. It's going to take a couple of years maybe to
yeah,
establish your who you guys are
exactly.
as
Get the
a
guys they want in there that they can succeed
yeah,
with because it's their job on the line,
yeah.
right? You
So, I
just
mean,
coming
right
in there.
now, I think, again, Cowboys, I'm glad we're safe from hearing that this is our year, from hearing it from a Cowboy fan. Uh, but maybe next year is your year. Like, again, you still have Dak and you still have these players that are going to return. Just go with that. Like, I don't think just firing a coach is going to solve anything.
No, and they're so fire happy. I mean, you
Yeah.
heard that Mike Tomlin. Well, who the heck would fire Mike Tomlin?
I know. I just saw that he is going to stick
I think
around next year.
I think Pete Carroll. I didn't want. You don't just let him go like that. I definitely believe we needed a change
Mhm.
because even he said it best. He's like, our identity was running the football, stopping the run. We haven't done that in years, and he knows that. He said it. We haven't done it in years.
No.
They've hired the wrong coaches. They've given guys. He's the problem is he's given guys chances at that defensive coordinator position, and that's what struggles. Is just bad coaching, and you can only be so positive and get guys going, but if they don't understand the game at a high enough level, and somebody's out, we got out coached in so many games. So I believe it was time for Pete Carroll to move on,
And was
but
that more of his decision?
mm-mm.
It wasn't?
He
Okay.
did not want to go, and he said it was non-football people that made that decision.
Yeah. I mean, it
Unless he's
usually
protecting
is
John
because
Schneider so people don't get mad at him.
NFL is a
But
business now these days.
I just hope he gets on somewhere else. I hope he gets
Yeah.
on somewhere else and he wins there because I definitely believe that we needed a change. But after everything happened and I saw that the passion that he still had and that he cared,
Yeah.
I would have loved to seen him get another chance because we needed different assistant coaches. And you know what? We're going to get that, but we're not going to have that same leader.
No. I think
So I just don't think uh, that switching the coach is always the answer.
no. I,
Some
yeah, you just don't know. I mean, I
sometimes
guess
it's
the Texans, you can look at them like, yeah, first year coach and with a first year quarterback, and they win the playoff game. But
look at the Dolphins. What
it
is
works every once in a while, I would say.
Did you see the video of Patrick Mahomes? It looked a lot like the Denver video when he's scrambling their first game and nobody put a lick on him. They just let him run.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah.
What it
Yep.
reminded me of Tariq Woolen on the Seahawks. Just doesn't want to make a tackle.
Yeah.
I can't stand that.
I know
That's
because
what the NBA does.
especially
They
with
loaf.
Mahomes running down the sideline, where I mean, I even saw a player just went and like two hand touched him. Like you're not pushing him down. He's a big guy. He's gonna stay up. And if he's tiptoeing down that sideline, he's not gonna step out.
No, you got to
And
put a
that's what a
hit on the
lot, yeah,
quarterback.
and that's what a lot of players, and well, they're afraid to because if they put a hit on the quarterback, you know, being Mahomes, he'll quickly step out and then try to pretend that's a late
You
hit.
know what? They're athletes.
Yeah,
They can run fast, put a hit on. They can also run fast and avoid putting a hit on if he's sliding.
yeah,
That's how talented these guys are. But sometimes you get so focused and you're gonna lay the guy out. And I get it. I get it. The rules have to protect the quarterback have kind of hurt the game in a way, and then not having them in pads during the
yeah,
week and practicing. They're just going up and two hand touching in practice. So
yeah,
when what is the old saying? You practice how you play,
yeah. You
and if
do.
you're practicing how you don't play, you're not going to play how you practice.
No,
Or
yeah,
I don't know. It's just I don't like that part of the game. I think they need to get back to being more physical in
yep.
practice to make them more physical in the games. They're teaching these guys proper way to tackle to protect the head and protect the receivers and people that are, ball carriers and all that. But
Well, you know, a lot of times too, I've noticed that defenders, tacklers, they want to try to launch at use their body to tackle. What happened to just the simple tackle and wrap up?
Yeah, wrap up.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't know.
I half the time I don't see that anymore.
Well, look at was it the Buffalo game? The Steeler guy came up, grabbed the receiver, number 10, and he tried to just throw him down. The guy kept his balance,
Yeah,
got up, ran in the end zone.
yeah,
And that's not the way you tackle somebody. These guys are athletes.
yeah. Take them, wrap them up, take them to the ground.
Take them to the ground,
Yeah,
pull them to the ground,
whatever
push
you
them to
need
the
to
ground,
do.
knock them to the ground,
Yeah.
but
So
wrap up. Hit, lift, and drive. That's the way I was
fundamentals
always taught.
101.
Hit, lift, and drive. So, but yeah, this whole getting rid of coaches so easily is just pathetic. It is pathetic.
I know. And again, a coach has a one bad year, they think they're done.
And how do you even you take like the Falcons, right? Okay, they were in the division race till the end of the week or end of the year,
Last week,
and
yeah.
they fire their guy. And okay, how hard is it to win in this league without a quarterback? They don't have a quarterback in Atlanta.
Mm-mm.
He's literally just trying to piece and paste that thing together.
Yeah.
Get him a quarterback and then see what he's all about. If he has a quarterback and he still can't win, you can't coach, then get rid of him.
Yep.
But if you don't have a quarterback, it's just tough to win in this league.
It'll be interesting on in the off season on shifts in the NFL. See who goes where, or if they stay, or a lot of free agents out there, and maybe possible trades within. I don't know.
So Belichick is reported to be going to the Falcons. And then I just saw that
Jim
Harbaugh's looking at the Falcons.
So.
Why is the Falcons job so great? I would take the Charger job.
I would too.
Man, you got that. You got Herbert back there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would rather have the Chargers job, but I just don't know.
Yeah.
Man, it is tough. It is tough. It is tough.
Yeah.
But
hey, good job to Michigan for winning their national championship.
Yeah, so, we're UW. It sucked.
It sucked. But
it hasn't been a good week for UW. They lose the game, lost their coach. They don't have one returning starter coming back.
No.
They've either transferred or they're going to the NFL.
Yeah.
So tough. But they did get a good coach out of Arizona. I think that guy's a good coach. I can't remember his name, but he made the Arizona Wildcats compete in the Pac-12.
Pac-2.
The Pac-2 now, yeah. I don't even know what's all going on there.
Yeah,
the Cougs lost their quarterback. He went to Miami. I don't like any of this new transferring.
No. I mean, even when the quarterbacks or players, they declare for the draft a year before. Caleb Williams, he declared for the NFL draft. So
wasn't the rule if you did transfer, you had to sit out a year?
I have no idea.
Wasn't that the old rule? Remember. I don't remember, but now they can just kind of do whatever they want.
When I played NCAA on the PlayStation, there was no rule there.
It's crazy. But here's what I'm thinking about. I'm scared if I'm a 49ers fan because you got a young Green Bay Packers team that doesn't give a rip.
Yeah.
They have nothing to lose.
And LaFleur.
They're building for the future.
And then LaFleur, used to coach with Shanahan.
Yes.
Yeah, so he probably knows his little secrets too. So,
dude, I'm scared if I'm a 49er fan and those hot Green Bay Packers are coming in.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
Here's what I want. Here's what I want. I want Detroit to take down Tampa, which they should. If they lose to Tampa, then you don't deserve it. But have the Niners lose to Green Bay, and Green Bay has to come in for the NFC Championship game into Detroit. How crazy is that place going to be?
Oh, my gosh.
That Detroit will prevail.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, they would play each other.
Detroit could be in the Super Bowl.
Oh, absolutely.
The Lions. I'm excited for those fans. 30 years without winning a division. They've never won in the playoffs. 91.
91.
Was it 91?
Yeah. I think I read somewhere, and I can't remember if it was the Lions, but it was like the last time they've been to a NFC championship.
Yeah, in 91, they beat the Cowboys in the divisional series, went to the NFC championship game at home.
Maybe that's what I saw. The Lions haven't been to like a national or a conference championship
since that year. They made the NFC championship.
They did? Okay, they did.
They lost to, I think it was the Giants. Giants or the Redskins?
So it was 91. It would have been either Giants or Redskins.
Yeah, it was one of those teams.
So, all right. Well, let's
Let's get on to it.
Yeah, let's get on to it. I have first my hot shots for the playoffs.
Texans.
You know, so obviously there's only 8 teams left in the playoffs. So Texans, they're at the bottom. I mean, they had a great game against the Browns. Like that surprised me. I remember we were kind of out and about. We were at the brewery watching the game, and we went over to Jamie's mom's house. We were watching the game. It was like halftime, and then when we left, we got home, and all of a sudden they were up 21 points because I missed the two defensive picks,
Yeah.
and yeah, so they played great, but I don't think they can compete against the Ravens.
No.
Yeah, I think
No. Nobody's beating
they
the Ravens, and
yeah
if they do, well, look out. But
yeah, but
I
the playing
just,
the Ravens, I don't think it'll
I
happen.
think they
So
played off that crowd. The
mm-hmm.
crowd was pumped. They got pumped. They still have a
It's
rookie
short lived.
quarterback who played outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
And the Browns, like great defense at home, but just not on the road. I
Yeah,
saw the numbers during the game. I'm just like, what is the disconnect?
yeah, I don't know.
What is the disconnect? But the Browns, I hope they have a bright future. They deserve it as well as the Lions fans. Packers, man,
I mean, I wish I could have them higher, but
Love was
again,
making throws.
they played a great 3 quarters, but then they let Dallas kind of sneak up a little bit. I was almost worried that is this going to be like a one possession game?
Well, I don't know if Dallas just woke up or
I don't
Green Bay
know.
let off the. Well, they did let off the gas
They
because
did.
they put in their backup
They did.
quarterback,
They did.
and
Yeah.
then they brought Love back
And
in.
it's like, okay, we need to hold off here because they
And
were up.
yeah, you just can't.
Yeah, they were up 42-16, I believe. So, yeah.
Man, I'm so glad. I hate the Cowboys. By the way, I was very happy because my second favorite team, and is yours,
Yep.
anybody playing the Cowboys. We both hate them, which is crazy because they're not in any one of our
No,
divisions, but we just hate the
we just hate
Cowboys.
them.
Bucks, you put the Bucks above the Packers. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. Well, I mean, they had a great game against the Eagles, but again, I don't know if
How did they
it,
put
it
up
would
36, 32, 36
32.
on the Eagles, and they only put up 9 on the when their season's on the
Yeah.
line against Carolina?
So yeah, I had the
But
Bucks at 6, but
division
again,
games.
kind of looking forward, moving forward too. So I just don't think they can beat the Lions.
Is there 2 season Bucks? I thought it was just one.
There's 2 C's and
Okay.
Buccaneers. When you spell it out, Buccaneers.
Well, let us
All right,
know,
let us
please.
know.
Let us know. The Chefs, man, they look good too.
They did.
But Dolphins are
Um,
like the Eagles to me. We talked about that.
yeah. But I'm just like, looking forward to the first playoff game that Mahomes is not playing in Arrowhead.
Yeah, welcome to Buffalo, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
weather that crowd.
yeah,
Buffalo's playing
I
good because
I
Steelers.
right now I'm back on the Buffalo train because I always have been the last few years. I've been loving Buffalo and Josh Allen. They had a slow start this year, so I wasn't sure too much about them.
What
But
a
yeah,
matchup!
but this is going to be a great game again. So
Josh Allen and
yeah,
the Bills against the
I mean
Raiders. If they can make it to that next game,
last time they played was during that offsides call, so I'm sure the refs will be very watched on.
Lions very deserving. I am really cheering. The Lions is who I'm cheering for the rest of the way.
I'd love to see Lions and Bills in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I was watching Dan Campbell's rookie year as a quarterback, and the Lions are 0-10-1, and they won their first game. Their first game on a play, and it's the same play they ran to seal up the first down in the
Oh,
playoffs to run
really?
the clock
Really?
out. They got a touchdown against the Vikings in that year, and the team was so. I remember seeing how excited they were
Yeah.
to win that first game for Dan Campbell. They
Yeah.
all ran to him.
Oh, I know that's
And
he brings a like a culture there in Detroit.
he cares.
He cares about his players. He's more passionate about it, and
Well,
that's
he's a
what.
former
Yeah, and
player.
he is a former player too. Yeah. So
Lions.
yeah.
Yeah. So you're Lions fans. I know there's about 3 of you out there, but good luck. Bills.
I mean, they're just looking good.
I heard something. Okay, they've lost in the playoffs the last 4 years in a row.
Yeah.
Okay, Remember, they went to 4 Super Bowls in a row and lost. Is this the year they get over the hump and get to the Super Bowl and all that agony
and all
is
that.
behind them? 4 in a row losses in the playoffs. Prior to that, 4 in a row losses in the Super Bowl. So I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Let's see if this is the Bills'
Let's
year.
just get it. Let's just get at it.
Niners,
Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
Niners and Ravens still at 1 and 2.
Well, they didn't play.
They haven't played
Deservingly.
So, yeah,
Deservingly.
I was almost tempted to put a team above one of them, but again, we don't know what team is going to show up for the Ravens and Niners. Do they rest too much, or because when you are coming off that Week 18 win to make the playoffs, and you go into the playoffs, like you just have that momentum carrying into it, and you win your first game. Like the Texans, they beat the Colts to make the playoffs in their division, and then they beat the Browns. Like, are the Ravens and Niners going to be able to have that momentum like these other teams will have? Packers, they could be hot right now. They're just like, hey, we just beat the Cowboys.
Well, here's
Watch out, Niners. We've been losing to you every year.
Any team,
and we don't have Rodgers now, so
the teams that the Ravens and the Niners are playing gave everything they had and got beat up in a playoff game.
Yeah.
Niners and Ravens are sitting back with all the confidence at home. Their crowds are going to be just as excited as anybody, and they're rested.
Yeah.
It's probably important that they get a fast start. Yeah. And I'm not worried about the Ravens with the Texans, but I am worried about the Niners with the Packers because if the Packers can get off to a fast start like they did against the Cowboys, 14-0.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, okay, I'm not going to get too excited. You would think that would sink a team, which it did to the Cowboys. It took out the air out of them. Mm-hmm. But I can recall a year when Seattle went into Lambeau, and it was 2007 season, 2008 in the playoffs. It was Brett Favre's last year.
Was that the Matt Hasselbeck? We want the ball.
No.
And we're going to score.
It was not. That was in 04. This is 08. Okay. But they're there, and they go up 14-0. And I'll never forget it. I was in Florida on a vacation, took the kids to Disney World, and we're over in Cocoa Beach. Go to this TJI Fridays, and I got my Seahawks jersey on. I was so excited. We're on the beach that morning, and then we go in to have lunch, watch the game, and oh man, and the place ended up filling up. I'm the only one with a jersey on. Only one. So they go for a walk. Wow, let's go. 14-0. And then it was all Packers on the way out. They won like 30 something to I don't 14. Even know. It probably was. It was Favre's last year but when Green Bay scored their first touchdown, the whole place erupted. I was like, you guys aren't even wearing Packers stuff. But they're all cheering for the Packers.
Yeah.
But so it didn't mean anything to me seeing them go up 14-0. But they didn't stop.
No.
They didn't stop. They put a 40 burger on them.
No.
Man.
Yeah.
Wow, you got Cowboy fans. You guys. That's sad. And I don't even want Dan Quinn anymore as our
No. Yeah.
You can't raise your level in that game at home.
You shouldn't be winning games if you're giving up 40-some points.
No.
Even 35-some.
I thought the reason that Seattle scored so many points because, Pete Carroll knows Dan Quinn, knows the weaknesses, but obviously the Packers figured it out.
No.
Okay, here we go. The results.
The results are in.
I think the only difference we had was the Chiefs-Dolphins.
Yeah, Chiefs-Dolphins.
So I should have won.
You did. Yep, you did.
We both picked the Packers for good reason, or the Cowboys. So we lost that one. Rams and the Lions.
We picked the Lions.
Which 1-point game. The Rams, they look good.
Well, and there you go. Lions, they didn't play a full, complete game. I feel like they kind of let up at the very end. Rams was able to get it within 1 point. So,
and Stafford got knocked out, and they let him back in the game.
Yeah.
He did not look
football.
Good.
No, he did not. Eyes rolled back in his head.
They were like this. They were. He was laying there. So the Bucs. Congratulations to the Buccaneers. Yeah, I've been in that stadium, so it was really cool to.
We don't have to hear any Cowboy fans or Eagle fans for the rest of the year, so that's good. Sorry, Randy. I have a friend.
Yeah, and then
he's
of course,
an Eagle fan.
The Bills win.
Yeah, I know. I went. It was a toss-up, and I think I went the other way just because you picked the Chiefs.
Yeah, you did.
And I had to kind of mix it up somehow. So,
well, good players step it up in the playoffs. So
Yeah.
here we are. Here we are. I hope that you put the. Oh, did you put our
No,
stats?
I didn't. So I went 3-3. You went 4-2.
Yeah, I have a winning record.
So
You're
winning
500.
record. I mean, there's only 7 games left in the playoffs.
Yeah, but I mean,
I mean, you have the advantage now.
yeah, I'm like the Packers. I squeaked in.
Yeah.
I'm here, and
The
I'm going to take
Packers
the most
also
of it.
they're the first 7th seed to win a playoff
That's
game.
right. That is so true.
Well, because we added
They just started what 3
yeah,
years ago.
3 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
All right, so here we go. The divisional round. All the teams are playing this week. Nobody has a bye. So your Saturday games, for those of you that are going to be excited at the snowstorm that's blowing in here to the Coeur d'Alene area, it's a good reason to be home. Snuggle up with your favorite snacks and maybe some chili. I don't know. I don't like to eat chili because it doesn't like me. But anyway,
did you
Texans.
have some chili this morning?
No, I was late. I had to stop off and get more coffee. Saturday, Texans at the Ravens. Ravens number 1 seed. Texans coming off that big blowout
Yeah,
win.
and like I said before, I just don't think the Texans will handle the Ravens. So, I have the Ravens in this game.
Absolutely all
Yeah,
day long.
yeah.
Ravens are the team to beat, in
I
my
mean,
opinion.
I feel like Lamar Jackson he'll just light it up, run it up. He'll probably throw 3 touchdowns. I don't know.
He's scary.
Yeah,
He's scary to
he's
defend against.
if I had a hot shot player list, like he would probably be at the top of the list.
Seattle has played them twice. I saw him play in person in Seattle, and the guy is amazing. I remember he ran to the sideline. A linebacker was chasing him, and I think he thought the linebacker was going to catch him, and he just went whoop, and then that guy went behind him, and then he just changed directions, went this way, back to the middle of the field, and just kept running. I was just like, the guy looks so smooth when he's
Yeah,
running. It was amazing. So yeah, Ravens for me. Packers at the Niners.
yeah.
This is
I mean, you almost want to just go with the Packers just for fun
just for fun.
because are they going to break that streak of the Niners beating the Packers in the playoffs? And like, is it because there's no Rodgers now? So, I mean, and young, talented team the Packers have. I mean, if they don't win this game, they're going to be looking good for years to come.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
but right now, Niners. I know they have some injuries. I know McCaffrey was injured for a little bit at the end of the year. Debo has been injured before. Trenton Williams. Like, are they 100% healthy? That's my worry.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I mean, they had these last week or two rest here, so
I know that rest is good for a team like the Niners.
yeah,
Because we've seen when they're hurt, they had that 3-game skid. And so this rest is going to be good. Now, barring injuries, we know what happened last year. I'm taking the Niners over the Packers. I think it's their year. They've shown that they are the team to beat.
yep.
So
And
yeah, I don't think anything's changed.
yeah, will still go with the Niners. If I had to put money on it, it'll be the Niners. But again, that's a game I'm going to be watching. And either way, obviously my wife is a Packer fan. I have friends that are Packer fans, so I'm cheering for the Packers for sure.
Yeah.
But I got to catch up to him. I can't go the other way.
Yeah.
So
Niners. Okay.
Niners for me.
Sunday's games. Bucks at the Lions and Chiefs at the Bills. So the Bucks, I think that they made their season nice with that win last
Yeah.
week over the NFC champion.
They did everyone a favor.
Yeah, defending NFC champions, knocked them out. The Bucks are going to go into a Lions den, no doubt. The Lions will be ready. They are the better team.
Yep.
Baker Mayfield, I'm really happy for him because
honestly, Baker, he is the comeback player of the year. If you told me a year and a half ago, like halfway through last year's season, if you told me that Baker, Goff, Love, and
Purdy,
yeah, Brock Purdy, were all going to be in the divisional round of playoffs,
for
I
a
would be
chance
like,
to go to the NFC or AFC championship.
I would have been like, "Oh, you must be joking," because at that point, Purdy was not in the game yet. Baker was benched on Carolina.
Yeah.
And Goff, you're like, oh, he's with the Lions, and they had a 1-6 start last year.
Well, you know what I say? Let Baker bake. So
Yeah, and
let
then
Baker
Love,
bake.
of course, was the backup to Rodgers last year. If you told me those were going to be the 4 quarterbacks for the divisional game, I would have been like, oh, you're smoking something.
Yeah. So Bucks at Lions, I am definitely taking the Lions all day long in this game. I think the Bucks, their luck runs out.
Yeah, I'm going with the Lions. They're just looking good, and I would love to see them get into the Super Bowl.
So
So
we
yeah,
both picked the Lions. Chiefs at the Bills. This is the one.
I'll
This
go
is
first because I'm gonna go with the Bills. I I want them again, like the Lions. I mean, I would love to see that matchup in the Super Bowl. But Bills, this has to be your year to beat the Chiefs in the playoffs. And let's just go. Let's do it. Bill Mafia. Let's go, Buffalo.
I I have been saying all season I cannot pick against the Chiefs in the playoffs no matter how they're playing, and they looked right back to the Chiefs football against
Their
the
Chiefs
Dolphins.
football form, yeah.
The Bills, I believe that they play at the level of whoever they're playing, and because they are at home, I'm going to take the Bills as
All
well. I
right.
can't.
All
I
right, so
should.
we're
I feel like I should pick the Chiefs, but
pick
I don't. I'm not gonna
well, we're all picking the same, all home
because
games.
the Bills
So
should want it more.
oh, yeah,
They
absolutely.
should want it more.
Like
The Chiefs have 2 Super Bowls.
they've been to 3 in the last 4 years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the Bills' turn.
It's the Bills' turn. We as football fans, we need other teams to move forward.
So yeah, anything you want to add going into this weekend?
Um,
Playoffs. I mean, the NFL is the best sport alive, and the way they set it up, the way they do it, it's when you have the NBA or baseball, you have games every day almost, and it's kind of like watching your favorite show on TV back in the day before you had Netflix, right? You had to wait a
no.
week, and all that buildup. You have a week to talk garbage as a Packer fan. Oh, it's going to 49ers. Let's beat them. You got an entire week to talk.
Yeah.
You don't have a day. Like if you're up, 1-0 in a series in the NBA, and you
Yeah.
got a day. Oh, we took
Well,
that game 1.
yeah. And speaking of baseball, man, it would be tough to be a Yankee fan this week.
What happened? I didn't hear.
Nothing. They lost Nick Saban as their head coach with Alabama. Cowboys lost, and Golden State's not doing well with the
Oh, I
NBA.
saw that. I was like, oh gosh.
Your typical Yankee fan, I guess. So, yeah, I mean, I'm just looking forward to let's see who's going to make the Final Four. I think I had my Final Four as Bills and Ravens and Niners and uh, Lions for the last couple weeks. So that will be an exciting Final Four. Yeah.
Boy, either way you cut it, it's going to be some outstanding football. The only game that I see that might be a blowout.
I could see the Ravens blowing out Texans.
That yeah, that is that's another one. The one
Yeah.
I was thinking of is I think the Lions are really going to take it to the Bucks.
Yeah.
I think that's
I could see that too because Bucks, they're up and down. Like they'll have a good game and then followed by a bad game, or they'll have a good game followed by a close game, but they lose.
and to be honest, I see it 2 different ways in the Green Bay 49er game. I see it a tight game with Green Bay kind of maybe having the edge going in the fourth quarter, or I see it as the 49ers are just like going to prove to the world we're going.
Yeah.
And no one's stopping us, and it's going to be a blowout. It's
gonna
one or the other, right?
It's going to be a fun weekend.
Either they have the pressure or they come in and say, no pressure, we're ready. So,
woo! Man.
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
Here we go. It's exciting. Well, that's our show for today, section 325.
Second half. We're out of here.
Out.